One of the hardest things you can be in this life is a single parent. Today I'm here to enlighten you on dating as a single mom. And if you're not aware, I was a single mom. Everything I will be talking about in this video is based on my experience as a single parent and as a young single parent. I'm talking, I had a baby when I was 19. Literally a week after my birthday, I got pregnant at 18, straight out of high school. And that has given me a lot of life experiences. So let's talk about it. Welcome to Jill's Journal, episode 4. I feel like this episode kind of goes hand in hand with the breakup one, and if you haven't watched it, it's a good one. You should definitely go check it out, because if you're here right now, it probably means you might have gone through a breakup and you're a parent and you're scared and you're intimidated, and I get it. Listen, when I gave birth to my son, I very quickly became a single mother, and obviously everyone's experience is very, very different, but I was with someone that was just not a good person and is not involved in my son's life. My son is 7 years old now, and as soon as I gave birth, I was so, I don't want to say this, maybe it sounds harsh, but I'm gonna say it. I felt very disgusted by this person. I didn't want anything to do with him. And it's crazy because during my pregnancy, I was so insistent on being with this person that I would have done anything because I really wanted a family. So for me, it was very important to know that I made the right choice and that I am a single mother, not for no reason. It was to benefit myself and my son, and it was the best choice I could have made. And I feel like that is the most important thing, is just being confident with your choice. And so I focused on my son for a really long time. I had no interest in dating. I wanted nothing to do with anyone. I was simply a mother, and that worked out for me for a while. And then I had to think about dating because I'm a human being, and human beings are just not made to be alone forever. And that is just the truth of the matter. I feel like it's a lot more common to encounter a single parent when you're a little bit older. Maybe you're in your 30s and you're dating, and you know that it's a very big possibility to come across a single parent. However, for me, that was a bit different because I became a single parent at 19, and I feel like most 20-year-olds, 19-year-olds aren't expecting to encounter a single mom who is their age. So it was kind of shocking and weird. Let's talk about when to bring up the fact that you have a kid. Personally, I feel like this should come early, immediately even. Let's say you're scrolling through dating apps and you're meeting people and you're talking, or you meet somebody in real life. Usually for me, that was the case. I didn't meet a ton of people on dating apps, mostly because that was a preference for me. I don't love dating apps, but it is an experience that I had, and I would bring up the fact that I had a kid pretty much right away. For me, he is my pride and joy, and he is my favorite person in the whole world to talk about. I still bring it up all the time. I could be out at the club and somebody comes up to me and starts talking to me, and I'm like, I have a son! This has just always been my experience. And I feel like immediately, that sets the tone, right? If this person's like, ooh, you have a son, they'll back off. You just shouldn't be scared. It is your reality. It is literally such a huge part of you. My son is an extension of myself, and I just could never hide the fact. It kind of just feels like I would be lying. Essentially, there's just no hiding it. It's gonna come out sooner or later, probably sooner. At the end of the day, you want someone that fully accepts you, and if you feel like hiding it is gonna make it better, it's really not. They're going to accept you from the beginning, or they're just not, you know? Dating is hard just in general. We know this. But your mindset will 100% shape your experience. What I mean by that is that if you're convinced that dating is horrible, dating sucks, that's the energy you're going to attract. And I am delusional. I have never seen dating as a horrible thing. Sure, at first it was very scary. Very, very scary. But in my head, I knew, I was so confident that I would find someone, anyone, that wanted to be with me, that wanted to date me, that would love me. And if that is 1 or 100 billion people, I just knew that I had options. Let's just say you meet someone and you're going on a date. I like to be very open and honest, like I said, about my situation. Not only the fact that I have a son, but just the rundown of everything. And that doesn't mean you have to open up and tell them all your secrets. But for me, it was important for people I was dating to just know what they are in for, because at the end of the day they do have a choice to stick around or to be like, this is too much for me, this is not what I want for myself. And as much as it sucks, I would rather be so honest with someone and let them decide than have them not be sure about me. Someone who is not okay with your situation is simply not the person for you. You live and you learn, and the right one is out there. And that's what I mean by attitude. If you feel like this one situation didn't work and you really like this person and now you feel hopeless, there are so many people out there. The right one is 100% out there, I promise you that. I don't even think dating is the hardest part. I don't even think finding anyone to date is the hardest part. I think the hardest part is knowing your standards. You have to know what you want, and you have to be so honest, first and foremost, with yourself. Listen to me. Don't let anyone tell you have to lower your standards because you're a mother, because you have a kid. Don't let anyone tell you have to settle. This was my biggest issue with dating, is that at some point I felt like I just had to settle. Like, yes, there are people out there, but I needed to settle because my worth was somehow tied to me being a mother, and because I'm a mother, I am damaged goods. Oh my God, did I suffer with this one. Something you need to learn, if this is your mentality, is that if anything, your standards should be even higher. You are just gonna have to be pickier, and that is okay. You're pickier with who you allow into your life because you have a kid. And you also have to be honest with yourself with what you want. Do you want to date casually, or do you want something more serious? Do you want to get married or married again? Do you want marriage at all? I know this is so hard because I've always felt like people would feel so pressured. But what I've learned is that I have to be upfront with what I want for myself and for my future. And I know exactly what I want for myself and for my future. Because I don't want to date someone that is into me and likes me, but like isn't really sure because I have a son. But I'm never going to pretend like I don't want that. And again, this removes the people that are not meant for me because they don't want the same things, or they just don't align with me being in their lives. And I feel like a big problem with being a single mom and dating as a single mom is that they want you and they think they're okay with you having a kid or kids, but then reality hits and then you're like, I want something serious, and they're like, wait, that's just not for me. So I like to be very straightforward from the very beginning because I don't want someone to waste my time. My son is not going anywhere. You're either going to like it or you're going to leave, because someone that really wants you will make it known, and you will know, and you won't be confused. Let's talk about when to introduce your kid or your children to your significant other. This is a question I get pretty often that I never really know what to answer because it's different for everyone. And I think it's just a feeling, like you just know. I'd say a good way to gauge if you're ready is if you've already gotten to know this person and they're accepting of you and your situation, and you know that they're a kind person and they listen to you and they ask you about being a mother. This is somebody that cares. You just have to use your best judgment. For me, anytime that I've introduced my son to anyone, I've made it very, very casual. And I guess it also depends on the age of your children, because my son is 7 years old now and I'm no longer dating, but anytime he's met anyone, he was very young and very little, and so he didn't fully understand the concept. But I like to make it very casual, like meet somewhere in public, go to dinner, go to lunch, whatever. This also kind of gives you a good idea of how they are around your kid and how their dynamic would possibly be. Obviously it doesn't tell you everything, but there has to be a first time that the person you're dating meets your kids. There's just no definite answer for this. You just know. And I feel like you shouldn't feel like a bad parent if you feel like it's too soon or you're scared. Like, it can be a very scary thing, but it's also not something you should put so much pressure on. And that's why I just like to make it very casual. Something that I faced as a single parent that has really made me sad, and it has just been a learning lesson, is families not being accepting of me having a son. And by that I mean the person that I'm dating, their parents kind of just like warn them or advise them against it. This has happened to me a few times and it really sucks. It really hurts deep down because I want to be accepted so badly and I want my son to be accepted. And I think that's just common just because I've been a young mom and I have dated people around my age. I've never dated really anyone older. And so for me it was very common to encounter this, and I try to be very understanding. But man, it hurts. Especially when you really like someone and you know that their family isn't fully accepting. But what I'd say to that, if you've encountered that, is that this person, the person that you're dating, will make the effort no matter what. Because at the end of the day, you're probably two consenting adults and they can make choices for themselves. Someone that loves you is not gonna go anywhere. And that's something I've had to repeat to myself over and over and over again. If they truly want to be with me, they're going to choose to be with me. And there is no other way around it. Also, don't tolerate disrespect. Here's something that I've heard so often, and I have dated men and I have dated women, and I will say women are a lot more tender, a lot more warm and welcoming and understanding. Men, on the other hand, I have had the worst stories. But something that I experienced was a man telling me, I don't want to raise another man's child. If this were coming from a man that I had just announced that I have a child and they said that to me, I wouldn't be so offended. I'd be like, okay, bye. But this came to me from a man that I had known for years, from someone that knew exactly my situation and still chose to pursue me. This phrase sounds like one of those toxic high value men podcasts where they have literally nothing good to say except just shit talk women. But this has only been said to me once just because I won't allow it again. I don't know, that phrase, even if it is just from someone that I just met, it's just so disrespectful to me. And I think it's just because I have never dated someone and been like, hey, I want you to raise my child. Like, you can say that to your buddies, you can say that to whoever the else, but to my face? Anyway, this leads me to my next point, which is boundaries. You obviously have to have even more boundaries when you're a parent. Your communications have to be sharp because you never want anyone to cross the line. And I'll always say I would rather be alone forever than to settle for someone who doesn't fully want me and my son. The truth of the matter is he's gonna be in my life forever, and whoever I date is also going to be part of my kid's life forever. You really just have to learn to be alone and be okay with being alone. Be okay with it just being you and your kid or your kids. Here is the final truth. You're never gonna lack options. People love a single mom. Men, oh my God. Finding someone to date as a single mom is not hard. It is so easy. And if you haven't found anyone, that's probably because you're in your own way and you might be scared. But trust me, I have never been shy to say that I have a kid because men will throw themselves at you regardless. And it really isn't about finding someone to date. It's just about finding the right one, and that comes with your standards and knowing what you want. Don't limit yourself just because you feel like you're not worth someone's full effort because you feel like they can't give it to you because you have a kid. If anything, they should try harder because you have a kid. They are gonna have to try double. Anyway, that's gonna be it for this video. If you enjoyed, like, subscribe, comment. I don't know. I honestly think this is my favorite topic to talk about because I feel so passionately about it because you just need the confidence to date. And maybe you haven't found it, but I hope that I gave you at least a little bit of courage. I love you guys, and I'll see you in my next video.